Hey, Randomizer fans. We got more Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament action coming at you here on SG2. Part of this big old marathon today. My name is Airshap. Joined today by Slim Kirby. Kirby, what's up?
Nothing too much. Like you said, ready for some randomizer. And what some awesome randomizer we have today. We have Benteezy versus Teto, the lower bracket of Group B. Benteezy, this is game 2, and Benteezy did take game 1. If he makes a win today, he will win himself into the bracket stage. Teto trying to force a game 3 to get into the bracket stage himself. So, there is a lot on the line in this match. Teto definitely has a match to kind of, work back into this thing, but, I think he can do it. There's a possibility, like, both these runners are very skilled, and looking forward to seeing the match here we have.
Me too. Yeah, you hear it over and over again as you watch these races, but truly, like, everyone who made it into this tournament is very good at this video game. So, winner's bracket, loser's bracket, doesn't matter. You're going to get some good gaming.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, we saw a lot of that good gaming yesterday in the game 1. So we'll see if that continues on for this as we do get started here. As usual, we are doing a hard item pool standard seed. So going to start with basically checking out the chest here at Link's house, and then we're going to be making our way to the escape to see what our uncle item is going to be, what we're going to be using to fight through escape, and basically do the intro section of the game before we start kind of exploring the light world and finding more items that will get us to the end of the game.
Yep, and that was 3 crystals with a red crystal up at Hera. So we could be set up for some interesting pendant dungeon dips in the dark world. Or a very fast seed. We'll see.
That's true. You don't need a lot of items for these light world dungeons, so we'll see if that comes into play. As our item today is just a standard sword. We've seen this plenty of times. If you've played the vanilla game, you know what to expect here. So not going to see anything too extraordinary today, but we will get to see like just how both these runners kind of do with their normal no major glitches strats.
Yeah, gonna be a pretty easy start. Probably see a bit of farming as we work our way to the back. 2 enemy prize pack pools, basically. We're trying to find a bomb for the bombable wall in the back of escape here is the main thing we're going to be looking at over the next few minutes.
That's true. As we know, there are 3 chests in the back of escape, and those chests could have our items, could have some items we might need, could give us even some convenience rupees or something as well. So it is definitely vital that we do try to find a bomb, but thankfully with the way the prize packs work now, is our runners will have kind of an idea of what the prize packs will be after killing a few guards or a few enemies. So they won't be spending too much time trying to look for bombs, but if they see that they are on the right prize pack, they may kind of take a little bit of time to kind of get that prize pack moving and see if they can get those bomb drops.
Yep, and it is going to be the high value prize pack. So if we kill enough of these guards, we will get a 8 bomb drop.
And yeah, it looks like that is what Benteezy is starting to work on here. Gets 2 nice kills on those guards in that last room.
Yeah, the sword is pretty typical, but also does give us the opportunity to see some clever spins and setups and stuff like that. So it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, working our way down to this ball and chain guard.
And we did get a bottle as one of our first items here in the seed, so that will be 1 extra check that we can make when we do get to Kakariko early on, so that'll be nice. And it's also a green potion too, which will give us some magic to work with at a later point in time.
And the flute. So we have the perfect pre-Kakariko set of items here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like at this point, the only thing that would, potentially make it a little better is, the hammer and powder for a magic bat check. But I mean, you have the bottle, you have the flute, you can activate the flute and check Sick Kid. You don't have to worry about going to that second screen necessarily. So, just a nice straightforward path through Kakariko.
Yeah, early flute is great. It opens up some interesting routing choices early too. We could see an early Agena cave, early trip up the mountain. And just generally, we're going to see a bit of time saved as we work our way around the map and being able to head down to South Shore really fast, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So here, Benteezy working a little more on that high-value prize pack you kind of mentioned before.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the bombs are pretty deep in the pack. There they are over on Ben's side.
Yeah. And so he does manage to pull those out without really losing too much time, like still in this really nice sync with Teto as well, being very efficient with the sword spins rather, and just kind of, getting enemies that are along the way, doesn't necessarily walk too much out of the way to get those kills, so is able to get the 8 bomb drop. We'll have to see if Teto can manage to pull it out. I think there is, like the rats in here specifically are not part of the same prize pack, but I believe there are some other enemies that are, so could still get the... Oh, yep, there it is, so Teto gets it as well.
Yeah, you'll often see people just kind of work their way through the guards, knowing there's that room full of snakes that share the prize pack with the guards.
Right.
It was a safe bet that Teto was going to get that drop.
Okay, so yeah, both our runners will not have to worry about coming back here at any point in the seed. That is kind of, that's one of the reasons why you do want to get that bomb drop early, just so you don't have to route the back of escape back in. It's not a long check, but it's better to do it when you're kind of going through it like here. So they're both more than relieved to be able to get that as well.
Yeah, rats, funny enough, also had the bomb pack there.
Of course. Ooh, well, there's a really good item. Got the hammer. Not only is that a tool that we will need to beat this game no matter what, but it is going to be one of our Dark World items, potentially. We'll need that along with a glove upgrade and the Moon Pearl to get to Dark World. So definitely a relief to find that early. Plus, it just deals a lot more damage to enemies and bosses as well.
Yeah, that's arguably just as important for if we end up having to go fight Moldorm early or something like that. Hammer's really, really helpful. So we see simultaneous exits into sync here. Really in sync. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a good sign for some neck and neck rando today. Looks like they're both heading over to the Lost Woods. Pretty normal.
Looks like we will have a slight divergence in how we get to the Lost Woods here. Benteezy going up from the south, kind of ignoring the check that Teto is making. Teto checking not only the tree pole, but also going to be making his way up to the Lumberjack Cave. So going to see if there's going to be an item on the ledge, and if that's a required item, we will have to be Aghanim at some point. Looks
just
like
bombs.
So yeah, we're not going to worry about that. We might still have to be Aghanim for Dark World access, but we're not going to be beating them for those bombs, that's for sure.
Yeah, interesting choice over on Tito's side. You'll see a lot of people do that lumberjack check when maybe you're short on bombs and you want an extra tree pole before heading to Kakariko, or you're short on money. They're good on both, but like a lot of checks in this game, the peace of mind is really, really nice to have as well.
Yeah, I definitely say a lot that, intel is important in Randomizer, and, it's good to know where certain things are and to have, like, some certain checks made early, because, at some point, if there was an item we needed, like, we have a sense of when we need to route that in. If it's, like, a Dark World item, we know that, we're going to need to beat that as soon as possible. If it's something like the Ice Rod, we can kind of wait to route in Aghanim when it's kind of convenient and when we have those boots. So, just kind of gives you peace of mind, like you said, of, there is something there, and we will be needing to do this at some point. You just kind of have the convenience of routing it in when you feel like it's most ideal.
Yep. There's a Master Sword, 300 rupees. Some more bombs, and a red Cane of Samaria. Kind of blinds out. Really, really nice start so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
More money.
And hey, getting a lot of money early is definitely a good thing. We do have, Zora to worry about, and just kind of getting some of those Dark World-like purchases we need to make as well. Just kind of taking care of early is nice. Could also leave room for some potion buying in the future, too.
Yep. Much like peace of mind with checks, it's nice to have peace of mind with just not having to worry about money. It's really nice. There's a mirror.
Ooh. Definitely something you want to find early before you even get to Dark World. Allows you to route more stuff in, as we also pull out the Ether Medallion and the glove.
All right, just a moon pearl away now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this could either mean we have a quick seed, or it could mean, I don't know, we're looking for the fire rod for like 50 minutes.
yeah, that's rando for you, for sure. Benteezy almost forgetting to activate that flute, but does manage to double back and get that activated before making too much progress.
Yeah, whenever I find that flute early, I just talk to myself on the way to Gekirk. I'm like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget.
Wake the duck, wake the duck, wake the duck. Yeah, I know that feeling.
See, a mirror and hammer opens up a whole lot of mountain for us already. South Shore also on the table, which is pretty quick to get to with that flute. So we'll see if we see some divergence here.
Mm. It is possible we might not see the direct play to Death Mountain until we find a lamp or fire rod, just to, just in case there might be like an item in Hera in the basement that we might need to get. But still, though, that is a very high density location right now, so there very well could be like the next progression on that mountain too. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. There is a bit of upside for holding off on the mountain for now, whereas with South Shore, it's like you're almost certainly going to have to do South Shore at some point in the seed, so why not just do it now and make the safe play?
Right.
But yeah, in this game twos where, one runner is down, those are the sorts of gambles we might be seeing today.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely go into a game two with a different mentality, regardless if you're the one game up or the one game down. Like if you're you're the game one, you're kind of maybe thinking, well, I have a win already. I can make a very bold play and clinch this series, or I can, I can clinch the series, and if I'm wrong, I still have another game. Or you can kind of just play safe, play to your strengths, and just kind of keep things moving.
Yeah. That's funny. I hear comms asking the runners, like, how did you rep this differently given the state of the series? And so often you hear, like, nah, I just played my game like I always do. But yeah, it's fun to fun to think about what they're thinking. Right, Teto did, in fact, just head down to the dam. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will not know if Benteezy is making these same plays that Teto is due to some technical issues we have right now. But like I could see Benteezy potentially making a play to Death Mountain, because he does have kind of that this is really pointing that there could be something up here, even though I can't do quite everything. Maybe there is a lamp here. Maybe there are mitts up here. Maybe the hookshot is up here too. I could end up just routing this whole thing together, and like all of Light World and Dark World. So there's just a lot of stuff that can happen with just one routing change.
Totally. Teto did switch over to that flute. Could either just be getting closer to Ice Rod Cave, or nope, making the mountain play.
Of course, what he's checking right now is currently not in the logic, but it's still a fairly easy dark room to get through. There's only really one thing you have to worry about, and that's the pit at the very end of that first room. And once you do get this in, you get a free check, you get a nice spawn point on the mountain. So it's definitely good to get this taken care of when you have the opportunity to.
Yeah, prioritizing this when you have the lamp feels really nice. There's so many points in a seed where you're saving and quitting, and this mountain save and quit spot is just a little bit faster as we find Bombos from the old man. Might need that. We don't know what our Dark World dungeons are just yet, or Dark World crystals, I should say. But we do have 2 medallions at this point, so it's looking good.
Yeah, this is true, and you know, it is also a potential way into Ice Palace as well when we get to that point, so not a bad find. Just see 10 arrows on the top of Spectacle Rock. Inside, just a heart piece, so not gonna worry about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue on though and head up to Hera and the rest of the mountain. So it looks like Pod, Green Pendant, another Pendant Swamp. And is that Skullwoods is the last one?
Yeah, Skullwoods was the last pendant, and I believe our other red crystal is Thieves Town, so that is our crystal layout today, which, you know, with Turtle Rock and Misery Mire and Ice Palace in play, like medallions will definitely come into play here. So good that we have 2 of them already.
Yeah, and that also means we're probably going to be finding like every item in this game with that dungeon.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Usually a lot of the items you need for those pendant dungeons are items you'll need for other dungeons, so yeah, it's likely we'll be getting pretty much the full payload of the main progressive items.
Right. Really the only thing we're hoping to not see at this point, I think, would be Flippers, since that will open up Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Of course, Slippers will be required logically for ice, but our runners more than likely know fake Flippers, so they can easily get around that requirement.
Yeah, they don't need no Flippers. Alright, the long, arduous crawl through Spiral Cave for 1 check.
And what a check it was. We have the Moon Pearl. Okay, so Dark World is available to us now.
Yeah, I'd say that was worth it. We're still, of course, gonna check Paradox here. Just gotta be careful.
Now, one thing we did see is that at this point, Hera is fire-locked right now. Teto does not decide to do the Hera Pots technique, so I'm not going to be seeing the rest of Tower Hera for right now, but it is potentially an option.
Yep, no hook shot, so it's gonna be a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. For a hook shot thing. Whoops.
Getting bullied by those mold arms a little bit, but pulls through, and this is going to be the end of our mountain trip. You opting to walk out and flute instead of saving and quitting there. Probably a little faster. And opting to head down to Hype Cave. Makes sense with no bow, and Pendant Pod. Beatlining there wouldn't really make much sense, and maybe you'll find the Fire Rod before heading over to Village of Outcasts, which would potentially make Skull a little faster, although that's also a pendant, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This feels like the safe sort of default first trip into the Dark World if you don't have any items that make a dungeon obvious.
Yeah, I mean, you get 5 checks, and, well, there's all our medallions taken care of now.
Alright, pretty unhype Hype Cave and Paradox Cave.
Yeah, of course we won't know that medallion knowledge until later, so Gonna have to hold the phone on that, but yeah, nothing that really screams progression as of right now. So gonna still be just kind of looking around the Dark World before we hop into any dungeons. And from there, likely we'll see probably a Thieves' Dip, since that is full clearable at this point.
Yeah, that is the one. There's a big bullseye on Thieves Town right now. Yeah, I might just... oh, there's our hook
Ooh,
shot.
well, we can Harapot now.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see, just work his way over to the left here, and then maybe mirror back into Kakariko and take that portal, or fly up. I guess it'd be a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Nice fairy in a bottle. These hard standard seeds, little safeties like that do make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really do. Because again, we are playing with the hard item pool setting. We will not get any armor upgrades. Our health will be capped at 14 hearts. So, getting those safeties early. Well, I feel like these runners, are more than capable of doing the game without the safeties. It's still just kind of a nice assurance to have, just in case something goes wrong.
Yep. Alright, I've lost count of how many digs this has been, but it's a lot. just for 20 bucks.
That's a pretty substantial amount of digs there.
So yeah, he's gonna mirror here. Yeah, fluting's gonna be a little bit faster. It looks like he called it. I think this will be that Thieves Town dip. We'll see if Teto opts to dip into the front of Skullwoods or not before working his way south. Clearing out those checks south of Village of Outcasts is nice, though, because this will let Teto just head northeast after finishing Village of Outcasts to clear out Graveyard Ledge and see what's on Bumper Cave.
Yeah. I like to call it clockwise routing, when you're kind of just going around in that just nice little clockwise circle of the Dark World, just kind of clearing location to location, just kind of just doing things in a nice, efficient line without just too many skips around and potentially risking, like, actually skipping something at some point.
Yeah. All right, starting in the middle here. Does have Candace Samara, which will make this room a bit easier. By a bit easier, I mean like way easier.
Yeah.
Goes from being one of the worst rooms in the game to one of the easiest.
I know. It's like, why did that have to be Dungeon 6's item when it like makes things in Dungeon 1, 3, and 5 so much faster?
Yeah. All right, into the front we go.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, we do need that for our Crystal Eastern Palace. So there are 2 bows in the item pool in hard mode. You can only grab one of them. So it's possible there's another bow floating around somewhere, but it's also possible that, that dip into Pendant Skullwoods was required.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, there is, potentially another bow out there, and, Ben could have found that bow as well at, like, a different location, and, could already have Eastern done by this point, as we also get the lamp. That will be not only our logical completion of Tower of Hera, but also our logical completion of Eastern Palace as well.
Yep. Yeah, Fire Source logically unlocks a bunch of stuff. Even if you're very good at this game and you can make it through dark rooms, though, the lamp is still welcome always, especially in some of these later dungeons like pod if we end up making it over there. Can get pretty dicey in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing in chat that Ben's restarting his stream, so hopefully we get him back on soon, and then we'll have to piece the puzzle together on what he's been up to for the last 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, and for all we know, both these runners could have been following the same exact path this whole time, so may not need to like really fit any pieces together. But yeah, we'll see what happens when he gets back.
Yeah, with Pod being a pendant, not having that bow, and like we said, there being such a big bullseye on Thieves Town here, I would not be surprised if both runners were in a similar spot right now.
Yeah, and that is a very good point, is that we were kind of basically funneled down into this route. So yeah, that very well could be the case.
Yep. And there's our cape here in Thieves Town, so if there is something on Bumper Ledge during that clockwise route, we'll be able to grab it.
Yeah, and also just a really nice safety to have. Honestly, probably the best safety for these types of settings, the hard item pool, just because, it gives you that nice, safe comfort item to use against not only the Ganon fight, but even Vitreous, for example, and just a nice kind of item to fall back on if things get kind of hairy or look kind of hairy.
Yep.
Especially with half magic as well.
Yeah, it definitely lets you use it for a good chunk of time. All right, working our way through the attic here. Just a heart, not forgetting to drop that bomb, which I do constantly. Back we go.
The worst is when you kind of fear that you didn't blow up that floor. You make it to this room here, you go all the way back to check to make sure that you did, in fact, blow it up, just to later in a future race not do it. Muscle memory can be such a fickle thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's really a big component of playing this game a lot, is like so many of these rooms are really are just muscle memory, and you aren't even necessarily thinking about what you're doing. You're just hitting the buttons like you do every time, and
yeah,
if you think too hard about it, then you start asking yourself like, wait, did I actually?
Yeah, and sometimes there are just things that just slip your mind in the process. Like, you can get like a heavy, dense location like Thieves' Hideout in Kakariko, find a whole bunch of items in the first 4 chests, and you get so excited that you just forget to check the back of it, and it turns out the back also had something. So just things like that can happen.
Yep.
Sausage is the worst. I get it.
Yeah, we often don't get to see blinds puns since folks are so quick at working their way through these dialogue boxes, but today we did. Scripted fight got a little off the rails there for Teto, but managed to pull through. Just $100 on blind, and crystal number 1 drops at 2730.
All right, that's pretty good.
So at this point, Eastern is fully in logic. Imagine we'll still see Teto going that clockwise route that you were describing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now with like the items that both our runner, or well, one of our runners has, kind of asterisk on the other runner for right now. Yeah, it's looking like definitely Eastern Palace, and heck, even Palace of Darkness at this point. Both looking like great options, and have the convenience of being in the same exact place pretty much. And since we have that mirror, that'll basically allow our runners to just kind of check both at the same time, so it'll be very, very convenient that they kind of got the items they did to get to that point.
Yeah, opting to skip that blue cane makes a lot of sense since we have the cape already. So that's a really funny spot for that blue cane, actually.
Yeah, it really is, because, yeah, like, I mean, if you think about the vanilla game, is that, yeah, they kind of expect you to have the cape to get Burna in Spike Cave, so it's kind of the same type of logic here, just a different location.
Yeah. Alright, he's gonna check Graveyard Ledge here. Just a heart. So yeah, Pod and Eastern could be the play. Yeah, with no other crystal dungeons like super obvious to do at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pendant Pod is screaming at us a little bit.
Looks like Teto is going to be focusing mainly on the crystals right now, which I do get the thinking, because, you know, if you can kind of avoid going into a pendant dungeon, like, you tend to try to take that chance. But I feel like in a case like this, you know, it'd be at least nice to have, like, the portal, like, along with the Eastern Palace entrance, just in case this doesn't play out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm wondering though, like, what Teto could even find in here that would dissuade him from going into Pod at this point.
Right.
Like, Mitz would let us do Ice Palace out of logic. And I don't know, one rod at this point isn't super appealing, like, doesn't do a whole lot for us. One fire rod. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess technically, like, getting the mitts would give us basically access to both Mire and Desert Palace, both of which are crystals, so that could be kind of the thing here.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I forgot about the flute mitts combo there. Yeah, that might do it. There's so few items in those two dungeons, though. Although Mire area,
Yeah,
it's got a few as well. So yeah, at this point, Mitz would definitely open up the most for us. Give us some mountain checks to do as well. Yeah, definitely in the early dregs of these seeds that start so packed, where you're just going to see a lot of heart containers.
Yeah.
Alright, opting not to use the cape there, just doing it the old-fashioned way by getting bumped and using your invulnerability frames to hit that switch. Just a heart. As we work our way through Eastern here, just want to remind everybody that we have a seriously packed slate of rando races here on SG2 today. Like, we started early and they're going to be going all day, so just don't close the browser tab or your app. Just leave it open.
Yeah, right after this match, we have Magnet Hands versus Penny Royal Oil at 5'10", and right after that match, Kern versus Paradox 64. So yeah, like you said, really, really packed today. And with that, Teto will grab his second crystal. Did not, unfortunately, get anything from Eastern Palace, so still on the hunt for those myths. We'll also be needing to look for a fire rod and an ice rod as well. At this point, Flipper's kind of one of those things where if we have them, that'll basically give us some logical implications, but don't necessarily need them. Won't have knowledge on boots just yet, but they could be required. And there's those myths right there, and a tempered sword.
Wow. I was doubting the decision not to go into pod there, but it was the right one.
Yeah.
Well, at least for what we know so far. There could be something in pod still, but yeah, the action was in Saha's closet.
Yeah. And that is going to more than likely change Tato's path here, going straight to the Misery Mire area. Going to be able to at least take a look at Desert. We won't know it yet if can complete it until we see what's on that torch, but Mire is fully completable at this point with all medallions and all items needed to beat it, so that is likely going to be one of the next big targets for Teto here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see Teto dive into Mire at this point. Or Desert. Or both. But it's certainly Mire. Alright, it's gonna go get eyes on Desert first. Alright, chat saying Ben's stream is coming back up, so hopefully we can get everything refreshed here shortly. Yeah, but it is in fact boots locked. So with boots being hard required, yeah, we're gonna need just about everything here, save for maybe the book.
And again, could still potentially be looking at those flippers being skippable if, again, there's nothing in Swamp Palace.
It's definitely what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swamp in general, just one of those dungeons that, especially in when it's a pendant, just feels kind of slow to get through. You're never sure if you're supposed to do left side or not, and
yeah.
So we are hoping we don't see those flippers, at least not before we're in go mode.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, you just kind of want to focus on, okay, this is what I know I need to beat this game. Let's focus just on these. Let's not add anything else to the equation. Let's just find these items and get out of here.
Yep. But yeah, if we don't find anything here, we're gonna have some choices to make. So we'll have Smith Chain, Pod was unchecked, Dark Death Mountain, a lot of different directions we could go in that are, I don't know, all equally not pendant, or all equally not crystal dungeons, so be interesting to see what happens coming out of Mire here. Hey, we're back.
We have movement on Benteezy's side again. So looks like he is in Eastern Palace. So basically, doing what Teto just worked on. Does have the tempered sword, and I imagine if he has that, he probably has the mitts as well. So it is looking like he is kind of in the same path as Teto, just maybe did some more overworld stuff first.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to tell. And as if cutscene chess couldn't get any worse, we're doing it with the lamp today. Alright, yeah, so Ben about to grab that second crystal in just a second. Yeah, I'll be excited to see if Ben opts to head into pod or not. Of course, for all we know, Ben could have done pod already. Who knows?
He is heading back to the Dark World, so he is not. So he is going to be giving us our first glimpse of what's in here in pod.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah, I feel like by opting not to do it, when Teto had an opportunity to do it, that was sort of a I don't know, sort of a indicator that probably wasn't going to be doing it for a while yet. It takes a good chunk of time to walk through the maze up to pod, so I would be surprised to see Teto turn around and head right back to pod at this point. So if we find something in here, it could be good for Ben.
Well, one thing we're certainly going to be seeing a lot of on Ben's side is small keys, as we do have 6 small keys here in Palace of Darkness, and you pretty much need a lot of them to basically start getting to some of the items in here, so I'm going to be seeing a lot of those first, but there are 5 items in here, and with that green pendant, that will give us pretty much a 6th item on top of that.
Yeah, very dense. Yeah, but at least 4 of those small keys up front here, so strap in for some more key drops. Oh gosh, I was running out of arrows.
Well, we got a big 300 in the first chest back here, and then just a single rupee, or a single arrow, rather, on the other one.
Yeah. I love the single arrow drop, it gets me every time.
Teto does take down Vitreous, gets 20 rupees and their 3rd crystal. Did not look like we got anything from Misery Mire either, so still on the hunt, but we got plenty of mitts checks we still have to make. You mentioned the Dark Side of Death Mountain earlier. There's also the Blacksmith Chain as well, so there's still plenty of stuff that can be checked here.
Yeah, this is the tough thing about just following Crystal Dungeon progress is, like we were saying, there's so few checks between Mire and Desert that We're just in this situation now where Tito's gonna have to make a choice on which overworld checks to do.
Yeah. It does look like Benteezy is getting to the last few items before the boss.
Yeah, you do occasionally see people like opt not to go take down Helma at the end of pod in situations like this, but with it being the green pendant, it's a bit more appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far pod coming up pretty dry.
Yeah, it's looking like if there is something in here, it's either going to be on the boss or that green pendant, but looks like Benteezy is actually opting to get out of here for right now and go off somewhere else. Did not see the value in checking that green pendant.
Whew. I've definitely seen Fire Rod on green pendant in
Yep.
I think more than one race in this tournament so far. So it's a little risky, but is opting to just chase crystals.
Yeah, I believe that was a race last night that actually had Fire Rod on green pendant. So yeah, it's definitely something.
All right, up the mountain we go. I think I've seen vanilla vanilla boots on green pendant in this tournament as well. Green pendant's been a lot of action the last few weeks.
Seen a lot of green pendant, seen a lot of Spike Cave having progression. There's a lot of key locations in this tournament that have had value back to back, it seems like.
Yeah. I guess you watch enough of these races and you're bound to see everything and remember it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we might see Spike Cave in a little bit on Tito's side. We'd even see the front of Turtle Rock if we're feeling adventurous. As yeah, there's that Fire Rod, not on green pendant today.
Honestly, I think with that Fire Rod, we probably will be seeing some Turtle Rock action here in a bit. With that, we'll be able to pretty much do everything except the boss, and we've seen Ice Rod and Turtle Rock I don't know how many times, so...
Yeah. Yep, it is so often in there, so looks like we're doing it.
Yep.
So this is interesting. Yeah, we haven't seen Smith Chain. I don't think we saw Zora. Definitely haven't seen Ice yet, which we could access without flippers. So a number of other places that Ice Rod could be, but you're up here. It's tough not to make this decision at this point.
Yeah, I almost want to make the assumption, and again, this is just an assumption, because it's hard to really say for sure because we were unable to see Benteezy's screen for so long, but just kind of looking at the rupee differentials and knowing that Benteezy did get a 300 in Palace of Darkness almost makes me wonder that maybe he did check the Zora area potentially, but again, we don't know for sure. That's something we'll have to just find out later.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Ben, just on the verge of death here, probably has that same fairy that we found a bit earlier. One of the very nice uses of the cape that's sort of made even more appealing by Quick Swap in that Crystal Roller Room.
Oh yeah, I know, it's great.
So nothing yet in TR, but a lot of dungeon to go.
Yep, all the way up to Laser Bridge we'll be able to make this dip in for... And, you know, even if we don't find the Ice Rod to finish this, we very well could find, you know, an item that could lead to the Ice Rod. Like, as much as we don't want to see it, maybe Flippers will be up here, and maybe that will lead us to that dungeon we don't want to go to that could have the Ice Rod.
Yep. Yeah, we haven't really seen... Oh, yeah, did have that fairy over on Ben's side. Yeah, we haven't really seen many of our fetch quest items at this point, or any of them, really, so... Also find the mushroom here, the shovel, any of these, like, dreadful chains that could lead to progression. Could start here.
Yep, it could. Honestly, even finding the boots up here, while we know it would be inconvenient, is, oh no, we'll have to double dip this. It's still, I think, good to at least find them and know that, you know, when you come back to Turtle Rock, you'll be coming back here as your last crystal, at the very least. So it's not too much time you have to waste, but it's still allowing you to get those boots to go back down and finish Desert Palace and at least get that loose square taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, I know whenever I see boots are required for desert, I always start to get a little nervous, knowing that they're in the item pool somewhere, that my opponent has found them before I did, and it's
Right.
just yeah, make enough time. So... With that mirror, we'll also be able to check Mimic Cave.
Oh, there's one of those fetch quests you mentioned.
Yep. That also opens up the possibility of fake powdering, since we do have Cane of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ben just giving us a showcase of why Meyer can be so frustrating. Like, when you find that big key as late as these two runners did, it's a long dungeon for 2 items.
Yep, it sure is.
All right, we got a mushroom, we got a bug net. This is worth it, right?
Come on, shovel, I guess.
Yeah, the real treasure hoard is on Laser Bridge, so no worries just yet.
Yeah, we do know we will find a small key on there, so... And I haven't seen the item inventory, nor do I remember if we've gotten both map compass yet, but I usually find that one of those items is at least on there in most cases.
Yep. When I'm looking for one item on Laser Bridge, map or compass is usually in the first chest that I check. 10 bombs. There's that key. Just 10 arrows. And powder!
Wow.
Alright. Well, we don't know that this was a bust yet. There could be something on Magic Bat. There could be something at that mushroom turn-in.
And as people in chat said earlier, powder is also a nice safety to have as well. With the rest of the seed, will give you some potential fairy drops here and there. As Teto is heading back up, I'm imagining this is going to be the finishing up of Tower of Hera.
Yeah, it seems right. And then right after that, you can just hop down and do Spike Cave, which, as you said, has been a hot spot this tournament.
It really has.
Not that that's how seed rolling works, but in our human brains where we recognize patterns, that's totally how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at this point, you know, after Teto makes these checks, he will have a kind of an interesting situation here, or decision to make, where there are some overworld checks we have. We have the Smith Chain, and we have all these little side quest items that we just found. And there's also Palace of Darkness, which we do know from Benteezy's side it was a bit of a bust, aside from, again, those last two items that we don't have information on. So, that's going to be another interesting part of this seed, where it's like, where does he go? And, that decision could actually end up being a big difference in the final result of this race.
Yep. And I know what we just saw in another race the other day, the choosing to go to pod at this point over on Teto's side, I would expect to see a full clear this late in the seed. It made sense for Ben to dip out, but if we see Teto head over to pod, I would imagine we see a full clear, and then if we see something on that green pendant, that's going to be a pretty big advantage. But yeah, I would be pretty eager to go check that mushroom and magic bat at this point, just to, with the hope that that turtle rock dip was worth it.
Yeah. Ooh, well, this Hera dip was definitely worth it. We do find the boots. And with that, we have the knowledge that Ben definitely did not clear this early. I guess we could have known that from his crystal count, but but still, that will give him some fast speed, and at this point, we're really just looking for Ice Rod. That's the one unknown at this point.
Yep. Yeah, pay close attention to Ben's stream over here. Could either head over to Hera or make the same lengthy TR dip that Teto just did. Is heading left.
I guess this does make sense in retrospect, 'cause it's like, if the Ice Rod is just over here in Tower of Hera, that's going to be kind of unfortunate that I just went through all of Turtle Rock and then just had to come out, and it was in the dungeon next door, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get those boots a little early. So the trek through TR, while there aren't a lot of long strips where you can really make use of the boots in TR, we'll be a little bit faster if Ben opts to head over there.
And so you actually do like, Teto decided to just take the death right there. And with that death, he's going to just warp back to Sanctuary. He has basically two boots checks that he can make right off the bat right here, and then can kind of choose where to go from here.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, might go check. Well, I guess with the there's the book.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, more fetching. Yeah, probably check King's Tomb here, and then we'll see if we see Teto fly over, turn that mushroom in.
Now, I know we did find the bow in Skullwoods. Did we find the second item in Skullwoods?
Oh,
well, doesn't matter. With that acquisition by Teto at 56 minutes, he is in go mode.
Man, just really sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
It really does, and logically we would need the flippers, but with this technique Teto's doing right now, fake flipper, that is not going to be a concern.
All right, so if you're rooting for Ben here, you want to see Ben go do those boots checks immediately and not go to TR.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we know Ben does have the fire rod, even though it's not marked off there.
And looks like he is saving and quitting, so well, he's not going to Sanctuary though.
Ben, where are you going?
Oh, it looks like he is actually going to be checking the Pyramid Ferry here. Which, honestly, I do kind of like the way I think he's going to route this in. He's going to go straight to the Pyramid, check that, and he'll be going north from there, and he'll be pretty much in the vicinity to make the King's Tomb check anyway, so I do kind of like the routing he is using to get there.
Yeah, it's going to clear out a lot of these lingering one-off checks that if you don't get early, you spend the whole seat thinking about. So it is nice. We know, unfortunately, that the play is King's Tomb here.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a nice clean round on Ben's side. If we do see Ben hook shot across the river in just a moment.
Oh, and there's the flippers. So
Okay.
oh boy. Well, in this case, again, if you're rooting for Ben, you're gonna want him to keep going on this path here, because you know, obviously, getting flippers that would immediately put Swamp in the logic. So it looks like he is gonna be probably the Catfish first.
Yeah. Walking back from Catfish is a little slow, and I don't know. I always think about just saving and quitting at that point instead of
Right.
the long walk. So, whew. Yeah, I don't know. Swamp is such a just feels so bad, like we were saying earlier. That
Yeah.
I don't know. With how quick those boots checks are, I would hope Ben also makes that play. It's turning around.
He is walking back, so that is good.
Yeah, so this is 100% going to be the hook shot across the river for these boots checks, and we'll get the ice rod on the first one in King's Tomb. So
yeah, he will forego that book, which, I mean, one less item space, I guess, for quick swap, which is not a bad thing.
yeah, it does really make me wonder what Ben was up to in those 15 or so minutes that we missed, because despite I'm going to start with Graveyard Ledge, but yeah, despite not going into TR, is still a little behind here.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make the pod play, I guess, huh?
Right, yeah, there is the pod play for sure.
All right. That was smart, right? I saved a mirror transition by starting with Graveyard Ledge there. And there is your go mode over on Ben's side. Just around an hour.
Yeah, really just a go mode difference by 4 minutes, pretty much, which isn't honestly that bad. Is going to be pretty much a dungeon behind Teto here, though. Teto already have Ice Palace pretty much completed at this point. So there is, you know, some time that Ben will have to make up. I'm convinced that he could make up some of that time, but we'll have to see. I feel like Ganon's Tower could be the biggest thing here, depending on like where that big key placement ends up being.
Yeah. Yeah, how often do we see races come down to going left or right in GT? Happens all the time.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, with you know, with generous safeties between the powder and the cape and our bottles and tempered sword, it's really just going to come down to sort of an execution battle here. Teto is going to be able to make it through TR much more quickly, not having to hunt down keys or anything at this point. So Ben's going to have to find some time somewhere. Well, I just watched a race where Lanmos were bombs and arrows, so this will be a bit easier by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll see some very quick fire rod usage on both runner sides.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, really nice single cycle landma there. And on Ben's side as well, so that's crystal number 6 on both runner sides.
Yeah, and you can see
Oh,
that.
actually, sorry, 5 on Ben's side, but yeah.
Right. But yeah, with that, I mean, like obviously, like Benteezy still has Ice Palace to go, but even in just that desert clear, like, I mean, Teto definitely entered desert like in a much larger time frame than what was at the end of desert for Benteezy there. So like, he's making up some good time already for sure.
Yep. So Teto heading back up to TR, and heading into ice here. Going ice very quick with Canis Samaria.
That is a good point. I do see kind of mentioned in chat though is that another kind of big difference in terms of what's been. Oh wow! First of all, I'll mention that in just a second. But Benteezy does have to basically go through all of Turtle Rock and kind of get all the keys and everything, while Teto would just have to go all the way through. But Teto actually saving even more time on the backup, saving that portal. And able to just jump right back into the end of here and just beat Trinex. That's really, really nice portal save. Actually had to go through quite a bit to make sure to save that portal.
Yep.
After Ice Palace needing to take a death in the overworld just to kind of preserve that. Because I believe, like, if you mirror out of Ice Palace, that portal would be gone. And if you saved and quit, that portal would be gone. So, very nice attention to detail there by Teto.
Right, and that explains the book too. So
yeah,
into desert too. Yeah, I completely missed that. So good eyes on our viewers and chat there for picking that up. Yeah, that's something you so often see runners try to set up after a failed TR dip like that, and so infrequently you actually get to make use of that portal. But yeah, really nice heads up routing over on Teto's side, which is going to save a serious amount of time.
It really will, and like someone has also called attention to the fact, like we talked about muscle memory earlier. Sometimes it takes a bit to just fight that muscle memory to mirror right after Ice Palace, or flute to 6 and immediately open that portal and go through desert the back way. So it's really nice to see that. But we are heading to GT now. Numbers are being posted in chat. Basically trying to figure out where that big key is going to end up being. Don't have a bot, can't play the game officially, but still just out of pure speculation, just say where you guys think that big key is going to end up being.
Yep, the very fake internet points maintained by the bot are made even more fake these days without access to the bot, but yep, get your guesses in regardless. Going left, we're on Teto's side. Right, 2 and 3 are red rupees. 4 is a red rupee. Ah, we almost had the well, not trifecta, whatever 4 is.
Quadfecta, I guess? I don't know.
It's good enough for me. He's doing the old combat avoidance strategy here and heading right now. Nice Mario punt. Here's 8 through 11. Got 20 rupees, some bombs. More than 20 rupees. More
Even
than 20
more.
rupees.
Yeah. So much for stealing the maidens. Looks like Ganon's stealing all the money in Hyrule today.
Yeah. Never really had a shortage all throughout the seed, but there's definitely a lot hiding away here in GT. So unfortunately, this back and forth routing isn't gonna save any time over on Teto's side, but the lead is, let's just say, substantial.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, I mean, from not only just finding the go mode item first 4 minutes, but just again that portal save, that really did just save a whole bunch of time.
Yeah. Just a heart there in that fire snake room. So we head into Rando room.
And that is actually another good point pointed out in chat. Finding the book right before the ice rod allowed Teto to save the portal for even longer, because that's what got him into desert the normal way to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just like really worked out for Teto.
Yeah, I saw that book and I was just like, oh man, more tablets to check, but now that's why I'm talking to the mic here and these players are playing. That's really smart heads up play.
What we saw as a tablet or pedestal check, he saw as an opportunity to take this series into Game 3. And it's looking like that will be the case here for this game, assuming nothing catastrophic happens in the final minutes of this seed. So this last spot for brackets from Group B is still on the table to join Jet082, our former champion at this tournament, actually, into the bracket stage.
Yeah, Jet knocked both Ben and Teto down into the lower bracket, so but there's that key. No tile room today.
Yeah, and honestly, both runners were able to actually, get a win off of Jet as well. So, both were playing hard even in those matches, and I'd argue that honestly both of these runners have a spot, or should have a spot in brackets, but just at the format, only one of these two will make it through.
It's really the crazy thing about this tournament is
I know.
you're seeing all these names. I know both Ben and Teto have just absolutely clowned me on the ladder before by like 20 plus minutes. So yeah, they're very, very good.
Yeah.
But one must prevail.
And that's another story about Benteezy. Actually, after qualifiers, was ranked below the 128 cutoff line to make it into the group stage. But we did have to have some drops, and as a result, he was the lowest one who actually was able to make it into this group stage. And at that point, like, was already kind of starting to plan his first Challenge Cup races, but
yeah,
was able to make it back in here and has had a really strong showing, being, I know he wasn't technically the 128th seed, but in terms of the players of the actual group seed stage, the lowest seed of the group, and just really showing his stuff here.
Yeah, still in it. Yeah, that's yeah, very cool that has been able to compete like this in those circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
As someone's still in the Challenge Cup, I'm thankful that I'm not going to be running into Ben.
Yeah, that's a way to look at it.
All right, down goes Trinex. Teto already heading up, so even a big brain straight left play over on Ben's part, over on Ben's side, isn't going to do it at this point. Again, barring something like, I don't know, internet going down for 15 minutes. When have we ever seen that?
At this point, even like a despawn glitch, Teto would still have the advantage, still having all of the lower GT done at this point. So, just gonna honestly, all Teto has to do at this point is just you know, keep your cool, keep your calm. You know, you've done this end game part of this game so many times. Just focus on just getting what you need to get done, and you know, try to get that game 3 on the table.
Yeah, these are those muscle memory rooms you're talking about. Yeah, I don't even feel bad really if I'm Ben. Like 114 is a respectable time to get in a GT. Or
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, this is a fast seed, no matter what way you look at it.
yeah, the pod dip hurt, of course, but was able to avoid the TR double dip and all, so I would be feeling fine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice double there. And another one. Just 2 hits left.
Ooh, fortunately comes up empty on that one. But gets the double there, so he is off to the Ganon fight.
Yeah, nice Agetsu there on Teto's side. Ben did go right, unfortunately.
And after one Pink Floyd reference, we are ready for the Ganon fight here.
Alright, that's the dream Ganon location up in the corner there. Just get to spin to your heart's content. Don't even need that cape we just spent a whole race talking about.
Yeah.
So after dodging, well, after some floor stomps here, we'll just need 12 sword spins. Did get the torch glitch, no problem. If you're new to Randomizer, hitting Ganon 3 times in this phase before having to light the torch again isn't the easiest thing in the world, but Teto's making it look real easy. And there it is. Ganon goes down.
Yep, and it looks like not only do we have a sub 80-minute seed, but it also looks like we will have a game 3 for this series. get your GGs in chat for Teto, who will be taking this race.
Yeah, GG to Teto. Yeah, that was about as good as you could have asked for on that Ganon fight. We'll see if we can get Teto in for an interview here. We do. Hey, Teto, GG.
Hey, greetings, GGs. Oh, what is Seed in difference to the last one, which I not so good routed it like this one. This was pretty acceptable as a one.
Yeah, it started with a lot of items right up front, and the whole game basically opened to you, thoroughly Dark World access, and the flute, and a mirror, and everything you could ask for.
Yeah, in those seeds, it's always the decision if you are going fast in the Dark World or going for the overworld checks. With the flute, you can always check everything, but yeah, 0-1 in the series. I was like, yeah, last time it was unlucky for the swamp item. This time I will play the same, maybe skip the same 1 or 2 items in the seed, and if this is going to backfire once more, then that's fine.
Yeah, so was that the reason that you opted not to go into pod?
Yeah, at this point, I was thinking like maybe going back to Hera for the pyramid ferry, the whole pyramid, and up to Catfish before going right into pod. And yeah, too much open at this point. And with the mids in Zashala, it was even better. And yeah, at this point, I would never gone into Pillars of Darkness. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the big or significant divergences I guess we saw was Ben did go into pod, found nothing, absolutely nothing. So as we were nearing the end of the seed, Ben did not go in, or Ben went into sorry, you went into Turtle Rock and Ben went into pod. And we thought those could potentially even out, but that portal save was a huge time save.
Yeah, at this point I was going on the mountain and thought like, yeah, you're going into Turtle Rock without Firewall, so you are pretty early locked out, hopefully. But with the Firewall on the mountain, it wasn't an easy decision. I know there are many races. If you're going into Turtle Rock, you lose so much time. And in the end, it's behind the mirror in Swamp or wherever the ice wood will be. So I was like, all right, let's risk it at this point. And I could portal save at least Tower of Hera. I would have done the pyramid play as always in my mind, and after that it would have been all the fake flipper checks with Ice Palace and Zora area.
Yeah, and there was that that very late book that it opened up the portal play in the first place.
Oh yeah, those tablets, yeah, they're very in my game plan anymore. But it was pretty decent for the Desert Palace, so I could portal save throughout the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it looks like Ben had some internet problems, or at least connection problems with the whole out the seed.
Yeah, we were
talked a little bit.
Yeah, we were mostly just calling the action on your side for a bit. We were able to get Ben's back up and running eventually and piece the puzzle back together, but yeah, no problem.
I hope it doesn't affect his gameplay so much. I know as a wanna, if there is something wrong on your side or anything isn't working correctly, you're always like going back and forth while playing, trying to fix that. So yeah, that's always not so great if you got those problems.
Yeah, well, regardless, still like really respectable run over on Ben's side. We were saying as you were pretty far ahead in GT, Ben was still entering at around 110 or something like that, and it just still like a great time. So definitely GG to Ben as well. Good run on both sides, and I'm excited that we're gonna have a game 3 now.
Oh yeah, at least not going out of this tournament in the last week without a win. So yeah, whoever will win the next one deserves the spot in the brackets.
Yeah. So if you were going to be a little more aggressive in today's seed, knowing you were down 1-0, how is that going to affect your routing in a 1-1 pivotal game?
I'm always a little bit aggressive in some points. I mean, yesterday's skip in Swamp Pillars, that's my normal routing, more or less. If I feel confident, I don't go back in. So there are always 2, 3, 4 checks which could win or ruin my game. But today, in this case, pretty lucky, and this will be a tough fight in the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, both of you should definitely be very proud of your progress in just this group stage. I mean, both of you, fought hard against Jet, who, came into this tournament as the defending champion of this tournament, and both of you managed to take a game off of him. And I could have very well seen, like, a potential where both of you ended up being in the bracket pairing just with that potential right there. So definitely GG on all your great playing for this group stage so far.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks a lot for the compliments. Yeah, it's a pretty strong group with Skepsi, I know from the German community, a strong NMG player as well, and the same with Ben. And at this point, this isn't an easy group. There aren't any easy opponents at all. So everything is pretty rough, and there are nice fights and nice races.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Have you scheduled that game 3 yet?
No, we didn't, but I thought we said like so those 3 days back to back were possible on both of our schedules. So maybe tomorrow at the same time, more or less, we will talk about that in the next hour or so, I think.
Yeah. Well, everyone follow all the SG channels, SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 6. I know we try to restream as many of these pivotal game 3s as possible. So whenever it is, yeah, just give those channels a follow, and hopefully we get an opportunity to see it. Yeah, any closing thoughts, Kirby or Teto, on the race today?
From my side, just a huge thanks for commentating and tracking this game and restreaming it on those channels, as you said before. So without you guys here, we weren't able to see those races. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, likewise. It's pretty nerve-wracking, I know, to play in front of an audience like this. So much appreciation to both Ben and Teto. And yeah, thanks to our tracker, Roti, today. Be sure to give them a follow. And Kirby, thanks for joining me.
Hey, no problem at all. I had a lot of fun commentating this race with you. And as far as final thoughts, you pretty much covered all I wanted to say. So thank you for that. I guess I'll just very quickly just go over and remind people that we do have plenty of matches still on the table for today, especially on this particular channel. Pretty much for the rest of the day, there'll be a match every 2 hours. So at 5:10, we'll have Magnet Hands versus Penny Royal Oil. At 7:10, we have Korn versus Paradox 64. And at 9:10, we have Flip Heel versus Werfjig. So lots of rando left for just today. And I think there's also another match on SpeedGaming 4 at 10:10, which is Astor versus Orange. So definitely, if you enjoyed the action for this particular race, stick around. We got plenty of races left just for today and also for the rest of this week as we head ourselves into the bracket stage. So this has been Slim Kirby. Thank you guys for coming out and watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks all.